Hi, fourth graders. I hope you had a really good weekend. If you're looking behind me, Martha's learned how to swing. She's so exciting. It's sort of a weird documentary following the growth of chickens, but here they are, and Martha's quite content there on her chicken swing. Dawson has found out that chickens can get bored, and so has made a swing for all the chickens. All right, let's talk math. One of the things I love about chapter 14, which is what we're going to enter, it's just a really practical chapter. It's if we were in if our school was in session, I would teach 3 lessons per day because they're all so interrelated. So what you're going to do today is really just begin the first customary unit study. And so let's talk a little bit about some of these customary things. First of all, and she is very content back there. So this is going to be lesson 14.1, and it's titled Using Customary Units of Length. Here's the key word here, length. But I wanted to introduce to you all the customary things. So I'm going to draw you a crown, and I want you to remember this term, customary. See the word custom in it? Customary. Custom. So this is one of those measurement systems that's pretty old. It's brought from the old world. It's brought from our founding country, England, and it was based off the king. Believe it or not, I guess he had a 12-inch foot. Wait, we would never even know what that is unless, of course, it was customary. So the king was very important. So his shoe, here's my shoe, was 12 inches long. So he based the foot off of that. So this is a foot. So we're going to talk about length today, and length can be measured in all kinds of, we're outside my yard again, whew, things. So you can see my shoe technically is 10 inches. I'm almost kingly, right? No, these shoes are kind of big, nice and comfy big, but customary units are kind of strange things. The English use them too, but not as much as we do. Believe it or not, it's we're the only industrialized nation that still uses the customary unit of measure. Everyone else has sort of gone to the metrics. It's easier to do in an industrial world. We have to know the metric system as well, but we still hang on to the customary. Let me show you a few things. All right, behind me, Dawson built this chicken coop. Dawson, what sort of customary units of measure did you use?
Feet and inches.
Okay. So I've got some customary units here. This one is a meter stick. We'll talk about that in the next couple days. This is called a yardstick. Dawson did not necessarily use a yardstick to build this because a yardstick is kind of stiff. He used a measuring tape, so those flexible wire things. So you can see here that 1 yard is technically equal to 3 feet. So if I were to take this 1 foot and I go 1, 2, and go to 3, there's going to be 3 feet in 1 yard. So these are 2 customary units of length. Now let's talk a little bit about weight. We'll get into weight tomorrow. Or is it faster? Let's talk about this guy. Okay, come here, buddy. Okay. This is Oliver. You've seen Oliver before. Say hi, Oliver. Hi, Oliver. Oliver is a 13-pound cat. Now the vet told us it's okay. He's holding, but he can't get any heavier. And it's his breed. He's a Manx, so he's kind of a stout little guy, but he's 13 pounds. And that's a unit of measure. That's of mass. We'll talk a little bit more about this as it goes on. The English system, or the customary system, founding country, would say pounds. And if you were in another European country, they talk about grams or kilograms. That's the metric system. But here in America, our English system is based on pounds. We also have something called tons. Now, the cat is weighed in pounds. The chicken could be weighed in ounces. That's another measurement of weight. Oh dear. And if I were to take you to my garage, I would show you a car, and that's actually measured in tons. Both of those are different types of measurements in the customary system. The one last customary system would be capacity. So it's how much liquid, or how much of anything, how many rocks can you put in something to fill it up. Now, as you get older, you're going to learn another word for it. It's going to be volume. But in this chapter and in this book and in 4th grade, you'll hear customary unit of capacity. So how much of something can you pour into an object? So this bottle has a capacity of 1.5 pints. So it's a little more than a pint of water. So pint is an English customary system. Also on the same label, you have 16.9 fluid ounces. Also another measurement of capacity dealing with liquid. And if you really wanted the regular system, the metric system, which is so easy to use, this is 500 milliliters of water. So notice that 500, this is a half a liter, and this is probably a bottle that's sold everywhere around the world. It's Kirkland. And here in America, we have to have both the standard, a customary system on there, and the metric system, because that's what, if you're trying to sell something here in this country or anywhere else in the world, you have to have both, mostly for everyone else's benefit. So capacity, that's the next couple lessons. But today we're going to focus on length. Let's go through some of the measurements of length, what you'll see. All right, Martha's still on her swing? She is. She's like so happy. They're all so happy. So Dawson gave them a little dusting bath, some diatomaceous earth, and they've been living it up in here. They actually run around the yard a lot, but they're kind of naughty. Today they've been after some sunflowers and some beans and things, some young seeds that we have planted, so they got put away. All right, so in 14.1, we're gonna use customary. Remember the word custom. It's really fit. It's just perfectly made for the king, okay? Of length. So these are some things you're gonna be measuring. You're gonna see today. You're gonna see inches. Inches are small units of measure like this. They look about like this. They are also, when you can break an inch up, you can break them up into quarters. Oops, so there's a half and then a quarter. So each inch, if you were to take a look at my ruler here, cameraman, I don't know if you can get in closer.
It's upside down.
There you go. This looks like it's been used for clay in my classroom. So an inch is broken up into smaller segments, and I believe that is broken up into eighths. So what you have... 16ths? Oh my gosh, it's so small. So this is why working on a number line really helps you in this whole lesson, because you have to know that in one whole you've got smaller portions. So again, working with the fractions of something here. So an inch is a small unit. The next measurement will be a foot. And I want you to think about that custom foot the king had. The king's foot apparently was 12 inches. So there's my foot compared to the king's. This is a little bit bigger. That's a big foot. He's English, of course. So this is the foot. And a foot is a group of inches all together. You guys know that there are 12 inches in a foot. And they equal the same thing. In an inch, they're made up of, there's really 16 of these guys? Wow. That's a lot. And the largest, well, there's going to be a couple other ones. The next unit up won't fit on my board, but it is made of feet. So plural form of foot. And that's going to be, a second here. Oh. It's going to be the yard. And there's one other that I can't show you because we'd have to get in the car, and that measures miles. So yardsticks are a combination of feet and inches. And here is our 1 yard. And you'll notice this is why counting in 12 is so important, and why we just don't avoid factors of 12 or multiples of, what do you call those? Wait, hold on. The 12's backs, because it's pretty useful in this customary system. So within this yard, you have 3 feet. And within 3 feet, you have 12 times 3. That's right, 36 inches. So this can be a combination of them all. Now, the biggest unit of measure is going to be miles. And this is, again, one of those crazy things you just have to put to memory. Dawson, do you happen to know how many feet are in miles, or how many?
5,280 feet and 1,760 yards.
No way!
Yeah.
That's cool. Say it again.
So 5,280 feet in a mile.
5,280 feet in a mile. So there's this many in a mile. And then how many yards?
1,760, and I'm almost positive that's right.
That's crazy. So 1,760 of these. So you can see that if we're talking about increments of growth, the smallest measurement we have here are inches. Below that, it's actually going to be fractional parts, like a quarter of an inch, an eighth of an inch, a 16th of an inch. Okay?
32nd.
32nd. Oh, wait, those are all based on powers of 12. Yeah? Divided by 12?
No, 32 is not divisible by
Oh!
12.
Forget it.
It's
That's why I
just-
have Dawson
It's
here
just
with me.
halving it every time.
I'm going to see how close my foot is when I drew it out. Oh, I was about an inch short there. Darn. So again, then we go to foot and then we go to yard. So today's lesson is going to ask you to do some reasoning. They're going to ask you something like this. So if I did just an example from guided practice, some GP here. How's our 13-pound cat doing? Oh, it's just chilling with the chicks. So the first one for GP, number 1, I'm going to read you the directions really quick on number 1. It says, or 1 through 4. For 1 through 4, choose the most appropriate unit of measure, the length of each. Write IN, inches, FT, feet, or foot, YD, yard, and MI,
Mile.
mile, right. So they give you this one, they say highway. And you have to think about which of those units is best to measure highway. Would you measure a highway in inches? That would take forever, right? Feet? You could, but that's a slow process of measuring a highway and something like this. Yards? Another slow process. What you would do, you would measure it in miles. Okay? And they said use MI for miles, but I'm just write the whole thing out, so miles. Number 2 asks you what a CD case would be measured in, which is funny. I can tell the age of our book because do you know what a CD case is, guys? Dawson does because he has older parents, but a CD case would actually, it's a little bit bigger than this. It keeps a little round disc inside like this, and you'd put it into a machine. So probably the smartest thing to do would be measuring that in inches, I would think, out of all of those, because it's a smaller object. Okay. Number 3. Good. Number 3. It says a football field. You would probably have to know how they measure football fields. Football field. Now you can use some pretty intelligent deductions. Would you measure in inches? Feet? Possibly. Yards? Football yards. That sounds pretty good. Not miles, right? 50 yards. That's pretty big. Or miles. The last one here, number 4, it says a room. So think about your bedroom. What would you measure it in? Again, go around the outside. Would you go, but would it be inches? Would it be feet? Would it be yards? I'm thinking measuring your bedroom in feet would be the best idea there. It's a pretty easy lesson. It's fun. Look around your house and see what you can measure. If you've got a yardstick, by the way, in the lesson itself, I pinned for you Teaching Tool 21 that has a yardstick that you can build out of paper, so you can actually have some fun with it. Think practical things. By the way, Dawson, what's our time on this? That's one more unit of measure I haven't talked about.
13 minutes and 35 seconds.
Perfect.
36, 37,
Perfect.
38.
Oh, and she's still on her swing. All right. Have fun with this lesson. I don't think there will be too much struggle. You're going to find that this whole entire chapter is going to be really fun and it's very applicable. You can do a lot of things with it. All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening.